Why would industries use green hydrogen?
However, hydrogen is something which is gonna give big opportunity after 2028.
Do we have any estimates on best market size as of now in India?
Solar or wind, it has to have the battery energy storage to keep that daytime highest power of solar into the battery and dispatch it during the off sunny hours. Hydrogen, as I mentioned, 70% cost of green hydrogen generation comes from the power cost.
Hi friends, I don't know how many of you know, but under Paris Agreement, India had set up a target. What was the target? That by 2030, 50% of our power needs will be met by green energy sources. And the great news is that in July 2025 itself, this target has been hit. 5 years ahead of the timelines. Lakhs of crores of rupees have been invested in Indian green energy sector. As an investor, I am extremely bullish about this sector. I am continuously learning about, for example, green hydrogen, green ammonia, battery energy systems. If you also want to learn about green energy sector, then this podcast is for you, because in this conversation, I have invited Managing Director and CEO of Oriana Power Limited, Mr. Rupal Gupta. Thank you so much, Rupal, giving me your time. It's my pleasure to host you. I know it's Tuesday afternoon and it's never easy to come out of your office in the middle of the week and have this conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul, for inviting me on this very special podcast on green energy revolution in India, across the globe as well. So on behalf of Oriana Power Limited, I'm extremely happy to be here along with you.
Thank you so much, Rupal. So I know India is doing fantastically well when it comes to green energy, but I just wanted to get a sense that if you look at the global canvas, is India doing enough, or are there other countries that are leapfrogging into this particular segment?
Very true, Rahul. So if we all see, it's not all just about the India who is very aggressive, very focused into green energy and revolution. Right. It started from even China, or even I would say Europe. Europe started doing the renewable energy development way back 2 decades before. Right. And then it's moved from Europe to US, Japan, and China. So today, if I just give you some numbers of China, it's huge numbers. Right. So today, China is touching some odd 2,000 gigawatt of capacity of renewable energy only. And in last quarter itself, they did more than 200 gigawatt of capacity delivery in the China. Right. Last quarter, when I say first half of this year. So they are very, very bullish, very aggressive. Apart from China, now Europe is again back on the track. They did a lot of development of the renewable energy before this Russia and Ukraine war happened. And then it was slowed down in between. But again, they have back on the track and they are doing a lot of development of renewable energy, especially Germany and these countries. Right. Japan is also one of the countries which has done a lot of development on the solar side especially. Mm-hmm. So if we see on the chart, China is number one, right, undoubtedly. And then US is the number two. Right. And then Germany and Japan, and India is the 5th largest country on the development of the renewable energy space. So India is going to surpass out of these, last two countries very soon.
Right. Okay. No, brilliant. Thank you. And also you touched upon we as a country have a target of 500 gigawattage by 2030. Right. Do you think we can hit it, or do you think there are going to be challenges ahead?
So any business comes with a lot of opportunity for sure. And at the same time, it comes with a lot of challenges as well. Mm-hmm. So opportunities, obviously, we all know 500 gigawatt is a huge capacity. As today we have just touched upon 250 gigawatt of capacity, including solar, wind, and small hydro, and bio-CNG, bio-CBG. Now, when it comes to the 2030 target, which is 500 gigawatt, which is double of the present capacity, which is what we have achieved in last almost 15 years. Right. Now we are going to achieve in next 4.5 or 5 years. So it's a big opportunity at the same time with a lot of challenges. Right. So when it comes to challenges, the very first challenge comes up to the grid infrastructure. Okay. So we all know solar is going to get the power during the daytime largely. Wind is going to get the lot of power development, power generation during the off-peak time, off-solar's time, which is evening time or midnight. So a lot of power generation is happening during sunny days or during daytime, where our infrastructure is not capable or ready to take that much of power. So somehow government is trying to mitigate that gap of solar generation with the battery energy storage and other solutions.
Right.
So that's where probably if you are hearing in the market, battery energy storage solution is also one of the new element which is coming up very fast, faster than what we all anticipated a year before or so.
Sure.
So first challenge the grid infrastructure, which is lagging a bit, but lot of things are happening on that side as well. Second is the land acquisition,
Okay.
because a lot of regulatory hurdles, environmental clearance, all these things are there, which are not at the central level, but the state level and the local level. So these challenges are always there, and these now 5 years before, solar development used to be the capacity of some odd 20, 30, 50 megawatt used to be a bigger size of project. Today, 500 megawatt is still the very common size of the
Right,
project.
right.
So 500 megawatt capacity typically require 2,000 acre of land at one single place, one single point, so which is a huge chunk.
Right.
So you can imagine this big chunk of land available at every part of the corner is something which is tricky. But yes, I mean, a lot of government push is there, government facilitation is happening. So we are going to get a lot of benefits on that side. Obviously, bit of challenges still.
Yeah, of course.
And third, I would say regulatory framework is something which is been there for last few years, which is gonna be there with a lot of state versus central gap in terms of policy and the regulation.
Right.
So those larger 3-4 challenges are there. There are supply chain challenges there because China, a lot of these supply chain happens from China,
Right.
solar or renewable, I would say, including wind. So as of now, maximum of materials, solar panels or machinery components have been imported from China. But in the recent development of the government India policy about the import of the solar panels or solar cells, these imports are barred, or
Right.
I would say restricted or limited, which is creating a bit of gap in the supply chain versus the demand.
Right.
So government of India is trying very hard to minimize that gap through the PLI schemes, through facilitation on the development of the machineries or solar park, industrial park, VGF funding. All these things are happening.
I want to move quickly to Oriana Power Limited. So I was reading your investors presentation, and I happened to read that Oriana is having 4 strategic green energy sources, right? So one was the solar. Second is the battery energy solutions that everybody is talking about, right? Third is green hydrogen. And the final one is your compressed biogas, right? So these 4, if I am not mistaken, these
Very
4
good.
are your strategic pillars, right?
Very good.
Why Oriana is choosing to go down the lane of these 4 pillars and not anything else? Can you give me a broad view of why you have chosen these 4?
Okay, so before answering
Sure.
you direct this question, I would say why this Oriana company. Oriana is one of the special team,
Right.
a special way of doing the business, special strategy of getting into the market trend. We started this company as a pure consultancy and a small EPC company way back in 2013 to 2017, right? Where we had very limited capital, a lot of opportunities were there in the segment because it was a new concept in the market. Solar was known to many companies, but at the same time it was not known to many companies. So we did our expertise in the market to deliver the solar expertise to a lot of solar companies and non-solar companies and user as well. With the time we moved to the IPP model, solar IPP or RESCO model. With the time we moved to large C&I business, which is open access project. Probably you must have heard about. So one is called behind the meter rooftop or ground mounted. Second is the open access concept. So that means we have been evolving as a company with the time ahead of the market requirement.
Right.
With our own capacity and capabilities and the financial capacity.
Right.
So likewise, solar is something we adopted at very right point of time in 2013 to 2017 as IPC and then IPP. With the time we have realized it is something which is gonna get its own competition, its own limitation, its own positioning in the market.
Sure.
So that's where we have adopted or extended our capabilities from pure vanilla solar, which is EPC, to nowadays large IPP open access projects as well. So as I mentioned in my previous question answer, BESS is something, it is not the choice,
Right.
It is a requirement, necessity in the system, Indian grid infra system.
Right.
Because now our Indian grid is not capable to take further power energy from the solar or wind. It has to have the battery energy storage to keep that daytime highest power of solar into the battery and dispatch it during the off hours, off sunny hours.
Right.
So that means my natural business of solar is going to get extended or required to integrate the battery energy storage in the system.
So that you can use the maximum sunlight.
So if you'll see, Government of India has already given the mandate that every solar or renewable power plant has to have, initially it was 5%, now 10% of energy stored in the battery to get it dispatched during the off sunny hours.
I see.
Right? So that means government is trying to minimize that supply or demand gap within the grid infra.
Right.
And that can be catered at the moment through storage.
Right.
So storage, yes, storage can be of different kind of storage. So obviously out of the lot of storage options, probably you must have heard, pump storage, solar storage, battery storage or sand storage.
Right.
Probably in India, the battery energy or globally battery energy storage is something which is there for last so many decades, right? So that's where it is being adopted, which is easy to implement. Right today, it can be done.
Right.
So BESS is something that is the reason of getting into the BESS business along with solar in continuation. Third is the green hydrogen. So again, please understand, green hydrogen is not the business of the hydrogen primarily.
Right.
Hydrogen is something which is there for last so many years. I would say a century. It's more than 100 years old. It exists in a lot of businesses. Only the way it is being produced is called grey hydrogen. It used to produce from the conventional source of energy.
Right.
Now that is being turned up into non-conventional ways, which is renewable energy source.
Right.
So the grey hydrogen is being named as a green hydrogen.
Right.
Where hydrogen process something which is one of the easiest, probably we all have learned and
10th class.
10th class में कि hydrogen कैसे बनता है, what is hydrogen and how it can be produced.
Yeah.
तो it's a simple water होता है, उसको हम electrolysis के through hydrogen को oxygen को split कर देते हैं, electrolyze कर देते हैं, तो hydrogen बन जाता है. That can be done in any school or lab.
Correct.
Nothing very great technology in that. However, at the commercial level, at the industry level, its scale is very different. So obviously some sort of technology is also required. Now, to produce this green hydrogen, if a project of hydrogen is costing you 100 crore, can you imagine the larger cost goes behind to give the power supply? That means 70% cost of the production of green hydrogen comes on the power source side. Right. Energy side. 30% is the other rest of the operation, which is administrative operations, salaries operations, and your storage operations, a lot of infrastructural development. So these 30% is very minimal cost, which anyway is there. Right. So 70% comes from the renewable side or power source side. Sure. So that is where any green hydrogen business or product or the project is going to get run through again solar or wind or batteries. Sure. So that means, which is my strength, which is something which I've been doing for years now. I have a natural extension of the business from solar energy to the green hydrogen side of things. Right. So obviously we are very much expert into the solar energy generation or renewable energy generation, not the hydrogen side of electrolysis process, I would say. Sure. So that's where we have got the handshake with the one of the US technology partner, Split Water. Mm-hmm. So they are actually giving their strength into the Oriana side of development in terms of electrolysis or technology of hydrogen. Right. Our strength is there to develop the renewables business. Sure. So that is being collaborated, and we are now into third business vertical, which is green hydrogen. Okay. In the green hydrogen, probably we are going to add a couple of more extended part of the green, like ammonia, green ammonia or e-methanol or something. These are the extended version of the hydrogen business. Sure. Fourth business vertical is the CBG, compressed biogas. Few people call it CNG, bio CNG. Right. So that means it's waste to energy.
Okay.
Again, Rahul, this waste to energy is something which we have been hearing for last 40, 50, 60, 70 years. Yes. So it is very much there in the form of biomass. Why this? Again, it's a clean source of energy. Mm-hmm. Clean source of energy means it comes under the renewable energy. Right. You are actually utilizing the waste which is abundant in our country in many metropolitan cities. This is the problem.
Actually, that is a problem.
So we as a company, Oriana Power Limited, are trying to cater that problem into the business opportunity.
Great. No, this is a great explanation, because so what I gathered, to sum it up, is that solar, BESS and green hydrogen, they are actually very complementary to each other, and there are a lot of synergies in it, right? So BESS is actually needed It's a requirement rather than you wanted to do it. So that is very clear. And compressed biogas is likely, it's not, there is no synergies as such. I mean, there is a synergy that you're using solar potentially, but that's the fourth source that you guys are very bullish about and are developing your strategy on. Out of these four segments, Rupal, what I wanted to also ask is, as a company, which is the most profitable segment for you now? And where do you see profitability going, let's say, I don't know, 5 years down the line, in terms of which out of these four could give you maximum profits?
It's a difficult question to answer, Rahul, honestly, because every business has its own time.
Sure.
Timing is very important in any business.
Right.
So if you'll see today, solar is obviously prominently, doing a lot of business for Oriana origin in general in the market. So if you'll see last 5 years development of solar generation versus wind or any other, so solar has been dominating decently.
Right.
So likewise, as of now, solar is the one of the vertical which is giving maximum business of profitability to Oriana Power.
Right.
But nevertheless, like the way battery energy storage system is coming up, that is also gonna give good chunk of share in overall Oriana portfolio of revenue. Third is the hydrogen. There particularly, we all are very bullish about it. The way government is trying, the way it has the opportunity for the country to reduce the fossil fuel requirement. We have a lot of opportunities, and the message and the requirement available. It might take little extra time. It might open up in 2026, it might open in 2027 or 2028, but the day it will be open, it will be a very big market.
Right.
So today, solar is the major business. Next 2 years, I have a feel BESS is gonna give good chunk of share in the overall Oriana portfolio. However, hydrogen is something which is gonna give big opportunity after 2028.
Right. So it's a long-term game. Right now, it's needing investment, your focus, your strategies built into it.
Yeah.
And maybe 3 years down the line, you start to see the fruits out of it.
One interesting fact which I would like to highlight, be it BESS or be it hydrogen, solar is gonna be there by default.
Right.
So it is tough to say solar is gonna get slow down. It is gonna go with the even higher pace, what we have anticipated, what we have planned in our business model.
Sure.
Right? Because independent solar is one business vertical. Wherever BESS is getting in, solar by default is needed because same power is going to be stored in the batteries.
Yeah.
Wherever green hydrogen is being developed, solar is gonna be major fuel for the green hydrogen development.
Sure. Okay, no, understood. This is very, very useful for me. And with this, I think I also wanted to ask you about the BESS segment. I know you talked about BESS segment, right? Battery energy, and how when the solar energy or wind energy, right, is produced and you could store it using the batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are being used. Are there any batteries that are coming up which are maybe more advanced? What's happening if you talk about the value chain of BESS? Where is the maximum opportunity and maximum challenges from your perspective?
So, Rahul, first thing, we all have understood the need of BESS.
BESS, yes,
right?
absolutely.
It's very much needed right today. Now, which technology is going to lead? So, typically, globally, we all have been using lead acid batteries.
Right.
So, that is already there in our houses, in our offices.
Everybody's using it for 50 years. I don't know, God knows how many number of years.
So, lead is something which is there, and it can be used decently in the battery energy storage system.
Right.
However, lithium ion is something which is being there in terms of automotive application, in terms of toys and application, medical application, and now for solar and renewable energy storage application, lithium is something which is very easily available with a lot of operational benefit of more than any other benefit, cost benefit. Because lithium is something which once it is packed, it is containerized, you don't have to do a lot of refueling or some water level checks and temperature maintenance. So that way lithium has been performing better than other way of battery technologies.
Right.
However, world is working towards other new options of the battery technology. So one is the sodium battery.
Sodium batteries, okay.
So India is working very extensively on the sodium batteries for obvious reason. Lithium, as of now, globe is dependent on the China.
Right.
I would say maybe or 90% or more market share is being covered by the Chinese companies.
Right.
including Tesla, which they are also getting their cells and manufacturing assembly in the China. CATL is one of the major company. BYD is one of the companies. So they are the major big players. But again, all are into the lithium ion segment.
Sure.
India is not going to get the easy path of lithium ion because we don't have a lot of lithium ion available, or even we don't have any source as of now which is ready for the production.
Sure.
We have identified some sources of lithium mines somewhere in Leh Ladakh or J&K, but that is going to take its own time, maybe 5-10 years from here. So that way, lithium is not the best option for us as a country. However, if we all can crack this sodium technology, it is easy for us because we have a lot of reasons to use sodium batteries in our country with a lot of sources available, raw material sources available. So that is one. Other than that, also there are some special battery technologies like fuel cell, hydrogen fuel cells sort of formats are there. Some prismatic batteries are there.
Right.
So new technologies are coming, but as of now, from here even next 5 years, I personally believe lithium is gonna lead the role.
Right. And I've been reading up that Oriana has got a lot of orders coming from state governments, I think, if I'm not mistaken, likes of Tamil Nadu, likes of Rajasthan, needing BESS setups to be done. So for these current projects, are you guys using the lithium ion batteries or are you using something else?
Okay, Rahul. So as I mentioned, Oriana always believe in future working, backward working. So that's the reason today, just to help you to understand, typically we capture 15% market share of battery energy storage solution projects which are already awarded to the country.
15% did you say?
15%
Okay.
Share. From one of the known source, we also got to know. Second, these orders are from state discoms. As I mentioned, there is a need. It's not a wish or just my business strategy. So every state has been given a mandate from the central government to utilize this power generation in their states through the battery energy storage options. So if you'll see who are these states? Rajasthan, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana. Because these are the most potential states of the solar power generation. And that is the major problem. So Oriana Power has got the orders from all these major states of the discoms. Now, which technology we are going to use? As I said, as of now, it's going to be lithium. There is no other technology technically and commercially available or viable to replace the lithium. So for these projects and even for next 1 or 2 years, lithium is going to be option for us or anybody else.
Right. Possibly my last question on BESS sector is that, do we have any estimates of what is the market size? Because as you rightly said, BESS is needed now, right? We cannot do away without BESS now, right? So we definitely have to have BESS. And since solar has gone so high in terms of capacity additions, do we have any estimates on BESS market size as of now in India?
Typically, I would say the market size, India is gonna be somewhere close to 500 gigawatt hours kind of. As of now, the first chunk I would say, which is going to cater our development of 500 gigawatt of solar.
Right.
That is the first milestone or opportunity in the BESS segment. More than this, I would say it is something which will keep varying with the time.
Right.
This is the government data. But I personally have a belief it is gonna go much beyond this.
Right.
Because it is going to shrink the lot of requirement of the grid infrastructure.
Okay.
Because please understand, Rahul, why this BESS is this solution in the present scenario. What happens when we set up the solar power plant at one location in Gujarat and we inject 500 megawatt power in the substation, grid substation. That means that substation capacity is being blocked to cater the power from the solar. And solar is available typically for 8 hours in a day.
Right.
Remaining 16 hours, this capacity is being blocked but not utilized. So what we can do as a solution, if this capacity of connectivity can be utilized round the clock,
Right.
I'm not reducing solar generation. I'm just shifting the generation and its draw or delivery in a time phase manner. So that means not delivering every single unit of power from daytime, we are going to cater or deliver it in 24-hour cycle time.
Right.
So what I'll do, I'll just average it out over the period of 24 hours or 20 hours. That means now in any given point of time, my power which will be injected to the grid substation will not be more than 100 megawatt. That means I am giving the free allocation of 400 megawatt within the same grid substation. That means another 400 megawatt of solar or BESS can be accommodated. That means it is 4 times what is being injected.
Right.
So that way, battery with the solar especially is gonna multiply in a huge
Right.
number.
Because we've already have got so much of solar power plant set up. And the missing part right now is the BESS.
Yes, it's
more or less, right? And this is where the push is coming now.
Yeah.
So, so I think there's going to be huge demand for BESS. So that's on BESS segment, and I think that gives me a good clarity. Moving on to green hydrogen, then, right? The third strategic source that you talked about. I also read that Oriana is setting up a gigafactory, right? What's the vision about gigafactory? Like, let's say 3 years down the line or 5 years down the line, whenever that gigafactory will be ready, what will it look like? I'm really fascinated to think about having a gigafactory that is going to produce green hydrogen in India. I don't think we have any gigafactories as of now in India, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right, Rahul. As of now, there is no operational factory of green hydrogen or electrolyzer, I would say. First, let's understand these are the two different business concepts. Green hydrogen is a product, energy or fuel, I would say. Factory is all about one of the machine which is needed for this generation. So factory is for the electrolyzer, not the green hydrogen production. From this electrolyzer, green hydrogen projects will be installed and green hydrogen will be produced. So the factory which we are talking about is about the electrolyzer factory. So we are going to develop the gigawatt factory for those electrolyzers. Now this factory is divided in 2 phases, phase 1, phase 2. First phase is going to be 500 megawatt, second phase is going to be 500 megawatt. Why it is important? Because any hydrogen business will be required these electrolyzers. So we are trying the way solar panel manufacturing is being limited to import from China or any other country. Now India has got its own beautiful capacity or big capacity of solar panel production. Now, energy storage, batteries also already got a lot of PLI schemes, a lot of opportunities to develop the battery energy storage within the India. Likewise, hydrogen electrolyzer require a lot of opportunity, a lot of future planning right today. So that is where Oriana has already announced and working towards to set up this gigafactory of electrolyzer.
Right.
This product is gonna use for self-consumption largely within our projects, which are electrolyzer, green hydrogen, green ammonia or e-methanol projects.
Right.
Other than that also we'll see the opportunity to sell in the open market as well.
Right. Okay. So the ultimate output of the gigafactory will be electrolyzers, not the green hydrogens. And the electrolyzers can be consumed within the company for their own project needs, but you might sell it. So it's almost like you're starting a backward integration already.
And one more very interesting part which I have just missed out. This electrolyzer capacity will be also supplied to export market, global market. Reason being, we have a partnership and tie-up with the Water, which is a global partner. They have other part of the world to cater their business and their supply, where we have mutual understanding that the electrolyzer or the EPC and the other technical services will be supplied by Oriana Power Indian factory, Indian setup to the rest of the world through Water. So that means we have a natural business available for rest of the world.
Right. And I'm sure in India, other players are also producing electrolyzers. So what will there be any uniqueness about this factory or?
Honestly, it's too early to say.
Okay.
Honestly, this is something very new concept. A lot of discussions are happening within the ministry, outside the corporate world.
Sure.
Globally also, which technology is better, which technology is going to lead the market. It is something too early for us or even to quote about it. So that's where we are trying to be technology independent. So when we say we are the electrolyzer manufacturer, it doesn't mean we are saying this is my technology. We are saying we are an electrolyzer manufacturer, irrespective of the technology. We can use alkaline electrolyzer, we can use other PAM electrolyzer, we can use EM electrolyzer, any electrolyzer we can use.
I think another question I had on green hydrogen was that the cost of it. Right. So I was reading some data that, if you were to produce 1 kgs of gray hydrogen, I think around 12 kgs of carbon dioxide is emitted into the environment, which is absolutely horrific, right? And we want to stop it. And that's where the green hydrogen comes into picture, that it is a cleaner source. But when it comes to the cost, gray hydrogen, I think, is costing around 1 kg is around 160 rupees to, let's say, 200 rupees, while 1 kgs of green hydrogen is costing double of it, 2x, right? 350 or 400 rupees. So why would industries use green hydrogen? Because their cost is going to double. So how are you guys seeing that industry will accept and absorb the green hydrogen, which ultimately somebody will produce somewhere?
Very natural question. And this question we are hearing from from everyone. So please understand, I won't answer directly from the hydrogen angle. I would love to answer from the solar development or wind development, which happened way back. So if you remember, Rahul, if you have heard somewhere, solar, when it started in India 2008 to 10, the cost of solar energy generation was 17-18 rupees per unit.
Sure.
At the same time, the grid cost used to be maybe around 4-5 rupees per unit. But still it was happening. The solar plant setup cost was some odd 12 crore, 13 crore, 14 crore rupees a megawatt, which is now reduced to 3 crore or 3.5 crore rupees a megawatt. So that means even though solar has developed, solar has taken that phase. So likewise, for any business, for any new technology, obviously there are initial hiccups. Sure. But these hiccups will be shorted and consumed within the time. Obviously through the government initiatives, through some PLI schemes, through some industrial developments, obviously through some ESG benefits to the industry customers. And at the same time, economy of scale will come into picture. So let's understand first, this hydrogen, as I mentioned, 70% cost of hydrogen generation, green hydrogen generation, comes from the power cost. Sure. So whatever is the power cost, that is going to drive the cost of the hydrogen. So as you correctly said, the cost of grey hydrogen, say it's 200 rupee a kg. At the same time, the cost of green hydrogen is 400 rupee a kg. However, the 70% cost is largely driven by the power. So if I am able to reduce it by 30%, sure, the cost of power through government initiatives like banking solution, transmission infra waiver, and other way of reducing the cost of energy generation. So at this moment, we all are keeping price of power generation in the range of 3 to 4 rupees or 4.5 rupees kind of thing. If I'm able to reduce this 4.5 rupees to 3 rupees, the cost will be reduced from 70% to 50% immediately.
I see.
Right? So that means that 20% will reduce of this green hydrogen production by immediately to 300 rupees. Sure. So that is one way of directly reducing the cost of green hydrogen. Second, I quoted about the benefits from the government side. So as of now, it is being consumed by a lot of petrochemical companies, marketing companies. So that means they are blending it, they'll be blending or something like that. And government will keep buying with some benefits to the generator. Third is the economy of scale. If you remember, year and a half before, the electrolyzer cost used to be some 6, 7, 8 crore rupees a megawatt. Today, it has reduced to 1.5, 2 crore rupees a megawatt. Just in a year. So likewise, in next 2 years, we all are going to see a lot of cost reduction on the core hydrogen technology side as well.
Sure.
So even 20%, 30% reduction from here and 30% reduction from the power generation side will match the cost of the grey hydrogen and the green hydrogen. So it's not too far.
Okay.
Probably we'll see this happening in next 1.5, 2 years.
Right.
In the very recent tenders also, we have witnessed the cost. I mean, everyone was expecting it is going to be $7, $6.50 or so. However, it is touching just $4.
Right. And I think it's the adoption cycle basically. So whenever a new technology start, of course, in the beginning, it's going to be costly, but sooner the industry will figure out a way to make it cheaper, be it using the PLI schemes or actually, technological advancements or whatever, right? So, okay, that's great. Now, coming to green hydrogen, in terms of who are actually the users right now, which industry is demanding? I know
we all are trying to figure out this.
Okay, fine.
So The very first industry, I would say, steel industry. It can be one of the good user.
Right.
Second is your these shipping lines, shipping industries can be bulk consumer in the form of green ammonia and all. Third is gonna be your fertilizer companies are gonna be good consumer. And likewise, going forward, we might see this green hydrogen is coming in the form of fuel cells and is gonna be in our automotive vehicles and cars.
Yeah.
So a lot of sectors are available. It is just who is going to start first,
Okay.
who is going to initiate this change. So companies like Indian Oil, GAIL, NTPC, all these are taking the lead, and a lot of developments are happening.
Right.
So recently, Oriana Power has also been awarded one of the project of the green ammonia.
Right.
So we are setting up in MP and going to supply to one of the fertilizer company.
Right.
So that means users now are being identified by the government of India.
Okay.
And they are helping us to get the off-taker available for these projects.
Right.
So a lot of developments are happening.
Right. And you talked about green ammonia. So can you give us a bit in terms of what's the sense about green ammonia as a market demand? Why would somebody use green ammonia? Is it the same reason that we've discussed for the green hydrogen?
Exactly. It's a very same reason.
Okay.
Nothing new about it.
Right.
One is obviously in future it is going to be cheaper than the conventional ammonia.
Right.
Second, it is environmental friendly. Third is the government push.
Right.
Fourth is the ESG compliance.
Okay.
So a lot of benefits are there.
With that positive note, I think I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, Rupal, and I would love to have you again, maybe once the Gigafactory, has been inaugurated. So really, really thankful to you for your time. I know Tuesdays are never easy for a managing director coming out of your office, taking the time out. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And on behalf of my audience as well, would like to thank you. Guys, hope you enjoyed this. Any last comments from you, Rupal? Otherwise, we are done.
I would say just out of this whole conversation, India is on the very right track. Just a small message to not my younger generation, I would say my close peers of the same generation. भैया काम छोटा बड़ा मत समझो, बहुत काम है इस देश में करने को, बहुत पैसा है इस देश में कमाने को, बस हमको enjoy करना है. Because as an entrepreneur, as a promoter of the Oriana Power, I'm get disappointed at times because here one place we say there is a lot of requirement of the manpower or what do you say, unemployment is there. At the same time, I struggle to get the right employment.
Right.
So I'm saying it's huge opportunity. पैसा बहुत मिलने वाला है इस देश को, बहुत कुछ अवेलेबल है, बस एंजॉय करो, फोकस करो, सबके साथ आगे बढ़ो. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Rupal.